I'm here in the south of France where it is very sunny and very hot. Here to ride this, Suzuki's new SV-7 GX. It's essentially the latest version of the famous SV-650. First launched in 1999. It's in its 27th year. A host of changes, not all of them massive. It's got different fueling now to help it pass the Euro 5 plus emissions regs, revised suspension, restyle. It's got GX styling, looks like the big 1000 GX, LED lights, new clocks, new dash with connectivity, revised suspension, some gearbox changes. There's a host of little things that should add up to give quite a different ride, but you know what? The proof of the pudding is getting in the seat and riding it, so let's do that and see what sort of influence they've all had. Okay, after a day on some fabulous French roads in some fabulous French countryside, I've reached a verdict on this bike and it surprised me. Yeah, it's light, it's easy, and bonus, I can get me bloody feet on the floor. Not flat, but not far short. Yeah, brakes, good. Sort of punchy, responsive motor. Just feels straight away like an easy bike to ride through town, which is a bit handy because we're riding through town. I mean, listen, it's one of the sort of icons of our times, isn't it, the SV? It was the people's bike, the bike that suited everyone and everything. And it looks modern, and they've brought it up to date from a dynamic point of view as well. I thought that it might feel a bit sort of tired and underwhelming. Maybe it shouldn't be a surprise. It's sort of in its 27th year now. It's got a chance to be as good as it gets, but boy, it's good. I mean, look, at no point did I go wow or be amazed at what it could do. It was just more a case of admiring hugely just how sorted it is and how easy it feels to ride. Yeah, I didn't think I would like this bike quite as much as I do. Look, it's early days, but and it's not a wow bike. It's a fun bike. It's not something to boast about. It's not something to get super thrilled about, but it'll be able to take you on many a different sort of journey. It'll be a dutiful, fun friend. There's much to be said for that. Listen, it's got me going already. Do you know what? If you're doing a U-turn on gravel, feet up U-turn on gravel at no miles an hour, it's easy. If you're getting your knee down in top gear at round about 90 miles an hour, it's also really easy. You know, these hairpins, I mean, even if you wanted to sort of take them quite keenly, are easy work. Don't think that was the best line. Pretty good over bumps as well. This road is a bit knackered in places, but you know, listen, you feel the bumps, but they're not harsh. You know, they're not giving you a hard time. Yeah, I mean, so far, just the size of the dash is the only thing that I'd be critical of. It vibes a bit if you hold it at higher RPM, sort of 8-9 thou. But it's the sort of bike that you don't really need to rev that high anyway, so I don't think it's going to bother too many people, and certainly not for long. Let's start with the motor. There's always something there. It's really torquey, really flexible, just tractable. No scares, no surprises, but always a good response when you get on the throttle. You don't need to rev it that hard. You do not need just the right gear. It's very, very forgiving. You want to go faster, open the throttle. It will give you something every time. Okay, it does reward getting it right, and
something you do notice, actually, there's no need to rev it. If you do, it gets slightly vibey, but it will always pull at least one gear higher than you might think. This is not an engine to be rushed. It's the lazy man's sort of motor for going fast. Look, it's involving enough, but you don't have to just keep swapping gears all the time or keeping it in a particular rev zone to get good speed from it. Really, really impressive motor.
I mean, the motor particularly, it's just really keen. Just feels willing, very, very enthusiastic, you know. I said it wasn't an exciting bike earlier, but it's still fun. It still wants to play. It's a surprise, really is. I do believe I was lost for words for a moment there. But like me, I know.
Peak horsepower and peak torque are not up. Just over 72 horsepower, just over 47 pounds-feet of torque.
Aha, Mr. Neves hoists the front. Right, runs out of puff a bit when you really rev it, but you know, you've gained so much speed in the meantime because of the fat mid-range that just doesn't matter. Yeah, definitely a big gear bike. I mean, look, it's running it down to sort of 50, 45, top gear, go. You just don't need to put too much effort in at all to get good throttle response. It's 32 degrees and it's bloody toasty and sweaty Betty, or I am.
The handling's just as good. The revised suspension gives great support, great feel and feedback, and thankfully for once a manufacturer's put some decent rubber on as it OE. It's got Pirelli Angel GT2 tyres. Plenty of grip, but lovely feel and feedback. There's no guessing, you know where you are. It steers very nicely, but the best thing about it is you just have that communication with the road.
Yeah, when you're coming downhill like this, these hairpins, it really puts a strain on the front tyre, but it's absolutely the business. But very good feel and feedback, that's a good thing. I mean, though the suspension is barely adjustable, just preload on the rear, as it's set, it's fine. Now where are these bloody photographers? Ah, I see them. You need to be careful, get behind the screen, look faster than they actually are. It's all a big con trick, isn't it? I mean, it's a super keen little engine. These corners are bloody... Well, do you know what? The corners are fine. It's just what you'll bloody run into if you cock them up. That's the problem.
The revised riding position, look, the bars are slightly higher. There's a more upright position now. And I must say, combined with the touring screen that I had fitted halfway through the day, it gives the impression, at least, that you could just ride it back to the UK, no problem. You could do a long day in the saddle. I got the comfort seat added as well, which sort of worried me because I thought the chance to put both feet down, which I can with the standard seat, might have gone because it's 25mm taller. But it's nice, soft and plush, and it compressed enough for me to still make contact with the road.
Yeah, I find the riding position quite roomy. The footrests are sort of typically Suzuki, slightly lofty, and I'm a short arse, so maybe those of longer leg might feel a bit cramped. Yeah, this sort of stuff here, full lock, gravel. I ride against the rear brake a bit, but eminently manageable. Yes, most likeable indeed. Quick shifter as standard, rack as standard. Nice clutch action, not too heavy, good feel. even moving it around on a gravelly car park like this is easy. It's low, it's light. I'm not totally enamoured with. Dash too small, slight engine vibration at higher RPM, footrests arguably a bit too high, but bar that, it's super likeable.
Brakes, they don't look as though they're going to offer too much because the spec of them is quite basic. They are not radially mounted, they're axial calipers, but enough stopping power, enough feel and feedback to make an urgent job of slashing speed feel okay.
That's Michael Neves from Motorcycle News, that, you know. It's him, real, live, with him. I've talked to him. He's let me talk to him. And the wheelie, I told you he'd wheelie. He can't help himself.
There's a couple of little things that I wouldn't have minded being a bit different. The dash is a bit small. Those vibes when you're revving it, they might irritate some, but given the fact that you don't really need to spin it that much, you can just change up to nullify that and still get drive. That shouldn't be a problem. And longer-legged riders than me, i.e. the rest of the motorcycling world, might think that the seat footrest height's a bit cramped as well. The footrests are quite tall. I wouldn't have minded, actually, handguards as well, but I wouldn't have minded cruise control. I think, yeah, there'll be times when, if I was the owner of this bike, I really would have liked that.
Just a wonderfully sorted motorbike. Not spectacular, you know, not wow, just bloody sorted. It just does everything you want. Does it pretty well, not without making you say core or geez man, that's amazing, but yeah, it's a bike that I've come to admire very much. Now tell me which country we're in here. This tree-lined boulevard is so typically French.
This is a bloody good motorbike, and for 6,399 quid, I think it's a real bargain.
It's been a bloody good day. The fact of the matter is, it's an excellent sorted motorbike that's just so easy to ride, making it an obvious choice for people new to bigger bikes. But even myself, you know, I've been riding for many decades, and I've had a good time on it. It's super sensible, got lots of real world features to make it easy to live with, but it's also capable enough to make it great fun when you push it a bit harder. Very sorted, very impressive and very accomplished motorbike. I'm pretty sure I wrote down 194 or 198 kilos last night. I've always thought some of these weight figures are a bit academic, but let me tell you, this is an easy bike to chuck about. Super agile, just no effort really required. Just nudge the tank with your knee and just lob it in. I mean, look, you know, round town when you have to do quick 90-degree changes of direction, fine. My acid test of things like comfort, I can't vouch for it yet because I haven't been on it long enough, but it certainly gives me the impression that I could ride this back to the UK without any worry at all. Easy, light, usable, agreeable, non-challenging. Much to be said for that. I mean, look, we like raving about bikes, or we like bikes that warrant raving, but there's a lot to be said for stuff like this that just makes it so easy to have fun on.
Another virtue is its value. The white bike is 6,999 quid. Colours are slightly more, 400 quid more, 7,399. They'll be available in August. The white one will be available in October. You have to wait a bit longer to save money. But the overall verdict is, quite simply, this is a bloody good motorbike. I've had a great time on it. It's very accomplished. It just does everything really well. And you don't have to pay the earth for it either. I think it will be a massive seller. I think it will be as popular as the SV-650 was when it first came in 1999. Yeah, it might be 27 years old, the model now, but it's as good as ever. Better than ever. Really impressed with it.